Today, I'm Gojo, and I'm bringing you guys the next part of What If Goku and Raditz were trapped inside a time chamber. Now, in the previous part, I explained to you guys of how the two brothers were practically betrayed by Piccolo himself. With Piccolo trapping the two brothers, and eventually they both actually started to get along after a couple of years of passing, while on the outside was only a couple of days. Eventually, both of them were able to spend 10 years of work training and eventually achieve forms beyond their imagination. Not only just achieve the Super Saiyan form of legend, but also surpass it and master it as well. With these forms, they became so strong, they were easily able to one-shot Piccolo, and even the old Z-Fighters were afraid just by sensing their power. Now we move on when the two brothers will meet the Prince of All Saiyans, Vegeta himself. Of course, Goku and Raditz would be ready. They've been training the Z-Fighters for a year so they can get stronger, and due to the Z-Fighters actually training with Goku and Vegeta, who are incredibly strong and powerful, thanks to 10 years of training worked inside Time Chamber, their power would have increased drastically, with even the lowest like Chaozu able to reach a power of at least 8,000, and the highest being actually Krillin and Yamcha, almost like Tien, would have reached a power levels to around 30,000 to 45,000. Meaning that the humans would already be stronger than both Vegeta and Nappa. Even if Nappa was to use his great form, most humans can use their teamwork and defeat him with ease. When Nappa and Vegeta do arrive on Earth, they're actually surprised that Raditz is actually still alive. And they can actually see he's fully healed and has no injury at all. Instead, he actually looks stronger in some way. But Nappa just laughs and thinks Raditz is still the same weakling. So he fires a blast at Raditz, but Raditz, with just his glance, disperses the key blast with no difficulty. This surprises Nappa and even shocks Vegeta, because even he himself cannot do that to Nappa's blast. Yes, he can take them with ease, but disperse them with just his glance was something that he never did in his life. He actually thinks that Raditz became incredibly strong. And Vegeta decided that maybe Raditz should join them back, but Raditz just smirks and tells Vegeta if he really thinks he would just join them because of that. Raditz then starts to roar as a golden aura starts to surround him. This of course confuses both Vegeta and Nappa, but eventually their eyes will get covered by a golden light, and eventually Raditz was revealed as a Super Saiyan, shocking Vegeta and terrifying Nappa. Nappa was in shock just by feeling Raditz's power in his scouter, with the scouter instantly exploding, showing a power level above 50 million. Even something like that would have caught on to the eye of Frieza. Of course, Vegeta would be incredibly shocked and also stunned at the power. He cannot believe that Raditz was able to achieve the legend himself. He should have been able to achieve it. Him, the Prince of All Saiyans, not as a low-class Saiyan. But Raditz just smirks at Vegeta and tells him that he's not the only Super Saiyan. Vegeta is confused with what Raditz means, but Goku just smiles and powers up into a Super Saiyan himself, shocking the Prince even more and terrifying Nappa even further. Nappa is on his knees, shocked and almost frightened for his life. But of course, Raditz tells him that he would not fear for his life, since he would not live for long. Nappa is confused of what Raditz means, but if we can say anything, Raditz easily sends a double Sunday annihilating Nappa, killing him in a spot. This of course shocks Vegeta, and of course the other Z-Fighters, but Goku is actually not that surprised. He knows what both Vegeta and Nappa have done through the years, and Nappa has been doing so much worse than Vegeta. Vegeta has only most likely beaten him up a couple of times, but Nappa was the most culprit who practically gave him a couple of Zenkais to reach the power level he was in canon. So yeah. So Goku actually does not stop Raditz from taking his revenge on Nappa, but instead, Raditz actually does not want to take revenge on the Prince of All Saiyans. He actually wants to help Vegeta instead, but he just didn't like Nappa and wanted to kill him. Since as a child, Nappa always disrespected him and always looked down upon him. But Vegeta was actually slightly different. Even though he did look down on Raditz, he only insulted him with words and did not even beat him up, just like Nappa or other Frieza Force did. Which kind of made Raditz grateful in a way, but not too much. Raditz explained to Vegeta that he will teach him the power of the Super Saiyan if he joins them. Vegeta, of course, is reluctant and decides to fight Raditz for it, but eventually Raditz is actually able to show Vegeta how superior he is with his power. Just in base, Raditz is able to beat down Vegeta, not even need Super Saiyan. Raditz, of course, just tells Vegeta that he should give up. His power is way beyond Vegeta's. Of course, Vegeta will get to his knees, bleeding out as he realizes that he has been surpassed by a low-class Saiyan. Him, the Prince of All Saiyans, surpassed by a low-class Saiyan who's below him. Raditz explains to him that he will teach him the power of the Super Saiyan if he accepts their proposal. Join them to defeat Frieza. Vegeta is hesitant, but After seeing Goku still in Super Saiyan and just smiling at Vegeta, he has to agree, with Goku smiling at his brother, saying that he is doing pretty good and has pretty much surpassed what he has been in the past. Raditz smiles and takes his brother, with both brothers trying to practically ask Bulma if she can make a spaceship so he can go to Namek. Vegeta, of course, is still actually shocked that humans can actually do something like that to build a spaceship. But of course, he's actually pretty intrigued by Bulma, but even more intrigued by how powerful Goku and Raditz were. He did train with both of them for at least a couple of days, but realized the power gap between him and the two brothers was large, even larger than he expected. Their power is so much greater than his, they cannot even comprehend how strong they are. Vegeta thinks that maybe the power that they have achieved has even surpassed someone like Frieza, if not even the entire Frieza Force itself. Vegeta even thinks that maybe they may be almost as strong as Beerus, but that's just in Vegeta's thoughts. While Raditz who do know who Beerus is, they are pretty interested in that name, but they decide to practically keep it to himself. Vegeta, of course, continues his rough training with the two brothers, but every time he does try to practically win the battle, he always gets incredibly injured and has to get a sense bean or get to a medical chambers so he can practically heal himself. Of course, this will most likely would have allowed him to practically meet with Bulma multiple times, and should actually grow a liking to Vegeta, just like in canon, way earlier on. Eventually, the spaceship would have been built, and eventually the two brothers and Vegeta would have gone to Namek, when Gohan and the other Z-Fighters decided to practically stay on Earth. This spaceship to Namek will actually be much more fast because Bulma actually had much more enough time to build it alongside a much better ship from Vegeta because it was still intact, alongside Raditz's broken part ship as well, meaning that they were most likely able to practically provide the spaceship to be much more faster. Of course, the Gravity Room would still be inside, and eventually the three Saiyans would train to way into Namek. Of course, this trip most likely would take it not as long as it did for Goku and Canon. I want to say it most likely would have took it at least 6 days to maybe possibly 5 days, which is the maximum I'm gonna give. But yeah, because I think that Bulma was able to practically make the ship really fast, so 5 days is not too exaggerated. As for the boost that the Saiyans will get, I want to say that Goku and Raditz do not get any stronger, but they're able to grow slightly stronger in base, but not too much. As for Vegeta himself, due to him training with Goku and Vegeta for so long and also being put through multiple Zenkais, this will actually give him Super Zenkais from time to time because of his constant injury. He also able to achieve Super Saiyan thanks to Raditz's help and Goku's as well, making him able to practically control the form. He has of course Greed too, but other than that he does not have any other form. Of course, Goku would have been ready to face off against Frieza, with him being repressed even of the Emperor's power and just his normal base. You can tell that if he actually did not train with Raditz back then inside a time chamber, they most could not stand a chance against him. But Raditz just smiles at his brother and tells him that with the power they have now, they could easily defeat Frieza, even if the entire Frieza Force with him. Goku decides to agree with Raditz, and eventually they fly off to find the Dragon Balls. After some time, they were able to find at least 3 out of the 7, while Frieza actually has the rest of the Dragon Balls. Eventually, the Saiyans were able to practically face off against Frieza, with Frieza actually being surprised that Raditz is actually still alive, alongside Vegeta, but actually confused to see Goku, because it kind of reminds him of a Saiyan he met in the past, but he decides to shrug it off, asking Vegeta to give him the Dragon Balls, but Vegeta just chuckles to him, and asks him if he really thinks he can stand a chance against the Super Saiyans. Of course, Frieza is confused with what Vegeta means, but also slightly frightened. But Vegeta tells him that to get ready, because he will not spare Frieza this time. For all the humiliations he has done to him as a child, alongside his entire race, he'll pay for everything. Frieza, of course, just chuckles at Vegeta's remark, but instantly Vegeta punches Frieza in the gut, sending the Emperor of the Universe flying. This, of course, shocks Frieza by the power that Vegeta has. Vegeta tells him to go all out, or else he'll kill him without even sparing him. Frieza reluctantly decides to power up to his final form, power up to at least 10%. But Vegeta, unimpressed, tells Frieza if that's all. Of course, Frieza gets irritated, tells Vegeta not to underestimate him. He tries to practically throw a punch at Vegeta, but Vegeta just smiles and catches a blow. Frieza isn't shocked by the power that Vegeta is utilizing right now, but Vegeta's aura starts to actually glow differently, with this slow glimpse of blue and purple starting to practically become golden. This of course shocks Frieza as instantly he powered up to his 100%, but eventually he's pushed back by Vegeta's golden glow, as eventually Vegeta powered up to Super Saiyan. This of course shocks Frieza and he's on his knees. Just by feeling the pressure of Vegeta's power, he can tell that Vegeta is stronger than him. If you guys are wondering, Vegeta in base has a power level of around 50 million. And in Super Saiyan, he has a power level of 1.5 billion. So yeah, the difference in gap in power between both Frieza and Vegeta is immensely large. So it's no question that Vegeta is stronger than Frieza. Of course, Frieza isn't strong by the power that Vegeta possesses right now. But of course, Vegeta telling that the power he possesses right now is not comparable to those two. He points to both Raditz and Goku. Frieza isn't strong because his power pales in comparison to those two low-class Saiyans. Goku and Raditz actually power up to Super Saiyans themselves, actually showing that they're still stronger, even though they're not showing in your transmission set in the Super Saiyan form. But even with this, they're able to shake the entire planet just by them powering up to a Super Saiyan. This of course shocks Frieza, but kind of slight smile, put a smile on Vegeta as he now realizes the true power of the Saiyan race. They must train to get stronger, not just through their natural potential, but through their own hard work. Vegeta realizes that. He realizes that his pride has been always holding him back, and now after he actually controls it much better, he can tell that his pride is good, but only when he uses it correctly. Which makes Vegeta realize that he's always been holding himself back. He's not been training like he did as a child. He naturally let his potential to grow him to much more further power, but he realized that he needed to work for this power, not just gain it through natural means or potential. He had to earn it with his own hard work, just like both Goku and Raditz did. And Vegeta respects both of them for that, even though he does not want to admit it. Frieza, of course, tries to use the distraction to blow up Planet Namek, but Vegeta, quick on his feet, grabs Frieza's hands and breaks it. Frieza screams in pain and asks Vegeta that maybe they can make a deal. But Vegeta tells Frieza that he'll not make a deal with the Emperor, saying to him that he did many worse things to not only him but his father as well, so he'll not tolerate him anymore. Goku, of course, tells Vegeta that he doesn't need to do that with a serious look, but Vegeta just looks at Goku back, saying that he does need to do this. Goku then sighs and calmly looks at Vegeta, telling that if that's what he wants, he will not stop him. Vegeta nods and thanks Goku, and eventually looks back to Frieza and fires a big bang at him, annihilating the Emperor of the Universe, leaving nothing but ashes. As for the Saiyans, they'll just collect the Dragon Balls and give them to the Namek, since they don't have any other wish to do or have any wishes. So yeah. Namek of course live peacefully, and Goku and Raditz actually get their potentials unlocked alongside Vegeta. Even though Vegeta is not pure-hearted, Goku can sense that Vegeta is starting to change. Even though it's a slow process, he can tell that Vegeta will become a great person in the future. Vegeta is kind of reluctant to actually hear this from the elder Guru, but decides to accept it and not say anything. Guru smiles slightly and tells Vegeta he has a bright future ahead of him. Vegeta just slightly thanks the Guru and eventually leaves with the two brothers. Going back to Earth, but when they're actually meeting on Earth, they're actually met by two strange individuals, one with long hair like Raditz, and one with his stinging hair being purple. With the two warriors, explains to them that they need to warn them of a future threat known as the androids. But that is the end for this part. I hope you guys enjoy this. I'll see you guys next one. Sayonara, my Z fans. See you next time, everyone.